Hi, so we're going to be looking at day 3 of the Unit 10 Coordinate Geometry unit, talking about directed line segments today. And this is a little challenging, so bear with me as we go through it. So a directed line segment is a segment in which order is important. You start at a specific point and go to another point. So a segment between A and B is going specifically from A to B. And to partition this means to divide it into segments with a given ratio, like 2 to 3 or 1 to 2. And we'll get to that in just a minute. So to start, looking at number 1 here, the directions say that this is a directed line segment from A to B, and we want to partition it. We want to know what ratio is it partitioned into by point P. So looking here, we have from A to P is 1 piece, and then there are another 2 pieces here. So this would be partitioned in a ratio of 1 to 2. Looking at number 2, we need to pay attention to which direction we are going. We are starting at A. So we have 1 piece here, and then we have another 3 pieces on the other side. So from A to P is 1, and from P to B is 3. So the ratio of this directed line segment from A to B is partitioned into a ratio of 1 to 3. Pause the video and try numbers 3 and 4. So looking at number 3, we can see that we have 3 pieces and we have 2 pieces, meaning that this is partitioned in a ratio of 3 to 2. And then for the last one, going from A to P, we have 4 and 1, which is a ratio of 4 to 1. Next, this wants us to draw a directed segment. So if we make a segment called CD, and it wants us to partition it into a ratio of 3 to 4. Well, that means we're going to need a total of 7 pieces. So we need to break CD up into 7 pieces. And then we need to decide where our point P is going to go, breaking it into a 3 to 4 ratio. So we have 3 here, 4 here. So our point P would be right in the middle here. Pause the video and complete number 6. So doing this one, we have M and N. We want to partition it in a ratio of 3 to 1, so we need a total of 4 pieces. And point P is going to be 3 of those away. So it'll be right here, because we have 3 to 1. I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can figure out how to get the answers for number 7 here. So here are the solutions. Read the questions and see if you match up with the same thing. All right, so that is basically breaking down how to find a point on a coordinate plane. So there are actually 2 ways to do it. This diagram really helps to see exactly what's happening. So if you break up any segment into equal pieces and then construct parallel lines through that, you can see that the ratios here would be the same as the ratios on this other segment. So if we want to know which point here divides us into a ratio of 2 to 3, we would say, okay, well, we have 2 here, we have 3 here, so it will be point S that divides AB into a ratio of 2 to 3. And we can use that same idea to find any partition here. So given these points at -3, 3 and 6, -3, we want to divide this into a ratio of 2 to 1. that means we're going to need a total of 3 pieces. And the nice thing is that if you look at our distance here and our distance here, we have a total of 6 units on this side, and we have a total of 9 units on this side. So you can pick either one of those because both of them can be split up into 3 pieces. So I'm going to do the vertical part here. If I have 6 units and I want to break it into 3 pieces, each one is going to be 2 units long. So I'll have 1, 2, 3 pieces. And I want to break that in a ratio of 2 to 1. So that would mean that this here would be where I am going to break it up. And I'm going to just draw that straight over. So point Q will end up right here. Because if you notice, if there was another point here, that would break our segment, our directed segment from R to S, into a ratio of 2 to 1. You have 2 sections here and 1 section down here. And again, just really quickly, if I had chosen to do that the other way, I would have made pieces that were 3 blocks long, and I would have said, okay, I need to go 2 units and 1 unit, and my point Q still would have ended up in the same place. The other way that you can do this is using a formula. So you can find your X value by doing A plus B, A over A plus B, where A and B are the parts of your ratio. Your X1 and X2 values from your points. And then to find the Y, you would use your Y2 and Y1 values from your point. And this is a way to algebraically complete it. You will need to do that at times. We're not going to spend the time on it right this second though, because it's just plugging in numbers. As long as you know that your A and your B come from your ratio, your X's and Y's come from your points. So you're going to want to write that into your notes because it is not there. So you might want to pause and write these 2 formulas for X and for Y into your notes. What I would like you to do next is try the next set of questions. There's 9, 10, 11, 12. And then there are 1, 2, and 3, which are under the region sets. And give those a try on your own. Pause the video at any point so that you can check your answers for 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then check your answers for 1, 2, and 3. Your homework for tonight is going to be the day 3 worksheet. And I hope you have a spectacular day.